All right. All right. You're here for introduction to SSCCC caucuses. Next slide. All right. So hi, I'm Angelica Campos. I'm the Regional Affairs Director, the SSCCC Regional Affairs Director for Region 3, as well as the Vice Chair of the Equitable Practices Committee. I'm a student at CCSF, and now I'll introduce Colin Fitzgerald, who is sorry about that. Colin Fitzgerald, who is a student at San Joaquin Delta College, member of the California Community College Board of Governors, and student trustee at Calbright College, and chair of the Student Trustee Caucus. Next, we have Anjali Patel, who's a student at Sierra College, the executive vice president of the AS at Sierra College, also SSCCC Region 2 director and chair of the Women's Caucus. Soon, Lauren Sanders will be on the line, but she is a student at Chaffey College, president and student trustee at Chaffey College, as well as the chair of the Black Caucus. All right, next slide. Okay, you're here today to figure out, you're here today to find out more about what a caucus is. So pretty much the SSCCC caucuses are a way and a forum for within the Student Senate for many student groups to meet and deliberate collegially in order to form a collective voice. All of the caucuses meet and are intended to serve as a way for, again, collective voices to come together and talk about issues of, again, a common concern for many students, such as student trustees, or like on the line, we have Anjali, the Women's Caucus chair. So the Women's Caucus would be focusing and working on issues that surround women's issues. And again, all of these issues aren't just for women in general, or students or student trustees in general. It is for student trustees and students of the California Community College system, to ensure that those barriers and the barriers of the students can be torn down, or all of the groups can also have worked together to promote success of students within the CCC system. Other than that, the role in the SSCCC, as I mentioned, they also have seeked out solutions and to address concerns and many of the issues that affect CCC students through, again, a resolution process or any kind of informal lobbying or any other activity that the caucuses deem to be effective. All right. Any student can also be a member of a caucus, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. All right, caucuses. I kind of overshot there, but we have a list of caucuses that work for the common goals of different groups of students. So a few of the active ones right now are the Student Trustee Caucus, the Women's Caucus, and the Black Caucus. So you'll hear a little bit more about them later on from each of the panelists. A few of the inactive caucuses that we definitely need more support for or student engagement in are the Abled Caucus, the Latinx Caucus, Spectrum Caucus, and the Veterans Caucus. So all of those groups, they were formally active and had student participation within them. But at the current moment, we're currently seeking students who are really engaged or who identify with those groups. Also, VPC, Brianna Ross just also mentioned the Sustainability Caucus, which is one of the proposed caucuses that students have been interested in creating over the last few months. So on that same point, we have the STEM Caucus, Asian Pacific Islander Caucus, the International Student Caucus. And again, all of those are potential caucuses that need to be created, or there's areas of interest there for those caucuses. And many of the caucuses are active to serve and address long-term issues that affect these populations. So there wouldn't necessarily, let's say, be a caucus for, I don't know, a puppy room. There wouldn't be a puppy room caucus. It that was silly, but I don't know, Anjali, if you would like to talk a little bit more about what work's being done to activate the API caucus, but now would be a really good time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you guys hear me properly? Oh, okay, cool, okay. So yeah, right now we are forming a work group, like, like reaching out to the students, like, we and starting the base work done, like, like how the caucus will run, like how we will who to contact, and like, who would be the chair, who would be the vice chair, and we are like doing the base work, like reaching out to the students who will be the members of the caucuses. So we are reaching out to the students who have like the like-minded like-minded ideas, and like, who have the similar ideas with around the caucuses, like, suppose if you are a part of you are an RP student, or like, or something that relates to international caucus, something like that. If you're international students and you have like something like you propose, like, um, international students, like what we should give and how we can benefit international students, or Pacific Islander students, So this is something that all caucuses come together. The students, like these are all student work, So we come together, we reach out, we make recommendations to the board of directors, and then that's where the things goes on and on. So yeah, I mean, that is something right now we are at the point we are just about to reach out to the chair of equitable practices, and we're gonna about to start, like, once we have like the finalized policy for the API, then we will be just reaching out to the equitable chair practices and board of directors later on. So that's something we are doing for API right now. And possibly I'm also thinking about international caucus, like it is really betterment, because with what happened during like international students weren't allowed to stay any longer, and like, they have to, like, they were like almost about to kick out if you're not taking classes on campus, that I don't know what was the modification, but there was some modifications, and they were asked to leave the country, and then all like SSCCC took the stand, and like a lot of colleges come together and they modified again in 1 week, because of students' voices hold power. Similarly, if this this international caucus can help like the international students, if we give recommendations what programs can be implemented in all over, like, so this is something these are like, STEM. So STEM would be like any STEM related careers, or opportunities that a student can provide, like, we as a leaders can come together and recommend it. That could be like an action item for a board of directors, or moving forward. So this is something that a caucus can do, like provide recommendations, like come together. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to add, unless Kulam wants to add something to it, or Rad 3.
I think Lauren also hopped on the line too, but good job. All right, so with that, next slide. All right, so here are a few steps if you want to get involved with an SSCCC caucus, such as the ones that were mentioned as labeled as active, or if you yourself wanted to create a caucus. So we do have a set of guidelines that dictate not the purpose, but the purpose and structure and recognition process for all of the different SSCCC caucuses. Of course, each caucus has guidelines of their own that dictate membership specific to their own, such as the Student Trustee Caucus. But right now, membership, there is a forum currently where you could express your interest in a particular caucus, such as the Student Trustee Caucus or the Black Caucus. So that it was an easy Google form that you can fill out to, again, get in contact with a particular caucus chair, as well as the equitable practices or caucus oversight subcommittees, if you wished to create a new caucus. Right now, currently, all of the recognition and membership processes are getting updated through the Equitable Practices not subcommittee, Equitable Practices Committee. So usually, if you wanted to get your caucus recognized, you would fill out a recognition form where you would provide information about the name of your caucus, information about what the purpose of the caucus is, and usually like there usually is like a section for membership or contact information. The reasons why we're changing all of the guidelines and the membership processes and recognition processes is because we want to ensure that the process is streamlined and that there isn't any question or concern about the way it's handled right now. I can also field any questions, or if any of the other panelists want to jump in and talk about their experiences with the caucus, like the caucus recognition process or membership, that would be really great as well. But otherwise, if you were interested in creating a caucus, you would email the Equitable Practices Chair or myself, RAD Region 3, but I've provided all of that information a little bit further on in the presentation. But most importantly, within the process is, again, that membership form. We're creating a more streamlined process so that you can, again, get more directly in contact with the chair, and there isn't as much of a middle person in that process. Yeah, next slide. All right, how to contact caucuses. So whenever a caucus has a meeting or an event, it is sent out through an email listserv. So here I've provided the listserv. So it's going to be SSCCC caucuses@listserv.ccc.next.net. I think if you wanted to get to know more about the caucuses that are active, as well as future caucuses, I think it would be really good for all of you to sign up for that listserv. Like I mentioned, any new updates about caucus meetings, caucus events, or any caucus related information will be disseminated through that listserv. Otherwise, another good contact to have would be the Equitable Practices Chair of the SSCCC. So I should probably explain a little bit more about what Equitable Practices is. It's an internal SSCCC committee that works, again, on equity issues, as well as oversees the whole caucus process, and not oversees in a way where we're micromanaging what the caucuses does. We are really just there to help facilitate caucus meetings and elections when those happen, as well as ensure the success of each caucus every year. So this would be good information for you to have in case you want to start a caucus up, because again, as I mentioned, after the next SSCCC Board of Directors meeting, we will have a new guideline and process to get involved, as well as create a caucus. Other than that, next slide. If there are any questions, let me know. So here I've provided the contact list of all of the current caucuses, social media accounts, and email. So if you wanted to get involved with the Women's Caucus, or just get to know more about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, it'd be good to reach out to the chair of the Women's Caucus, the chair of the Student Trustee Caucus, as well as the chair of the Black Caucus. And there, if you want to follow them on social media, it's all there. Next slide. All right, so here, I don't want to take all of the chair's thunder, because they're about to talk in a minute. But a few things to keep an eye on are when each caucus meets. So here we have the Student Trustee Caucus meetings. They meet on the first and third Wednesday of every month. The Women's Caucus meets every fourth Monday at 3:30 p.m. And then the Black Caucus meets once a month for regular meetings. And then whenever they're planning for conferences that they hold, those happen twice a month. And I'll let the panelists talk a little bit more about what each meeting, how each meeting works, and maybe how meetings go. So next slide. All right, here we have Colin Fitzgerald, Chair of the Student Trustee Caucus. I'll let him take the floor now.
All right, can everybody hear me okay? Thanks so much. First, I want to, thank Rad3 for, putting this on, having me, and the SSCCC in general. The Student Trustee Caucus is a really incredible opportunity to advocate. To start off, I'm going to slap a link in chat. That's the link to our Instagram, shameless plug. But the most important part about that link is if you look at the bio of the Instagram, there is a link tree. And if you click that, it will show our Google Drive, it will show our Discord, and it will show something else that I forget. Our Google Drive, Discord, and the listserv sign up, which are pretty much the top 3 things you want to give out. So make sure to hit that follow and check out the link tree. So the purpose of the Student Trustee Caucus is to bring together student trustees from, I can do a brief explanation, no worries. I see the question about Discord and chat. But the purpose of the Student Trustee Caucus is to bring together student trustees from across the state and intertwine, connect them so that they can advocate for the broader student interest better. So something that Rad3 said that really stuck out to me is that the Student Trustee Caucus, while the voting membership is only trustees, that's not to say that the interests of that the caucus advocates are only the interests of trustees. No, exactly the opposite. One of our goals in the Student Trustee Caucus is simply, paraphrasing, to address the inequities of the student experience. So it's literally, there's not, the inequities of the student trustee, it's every inequity of the entire student experience. And that's why it's important that, non-trustees, in addition to student trustees, join our meetings. And so, like it was said, first and third Wednesday, sometimes fifth, it's really every other Wednesday at 5 p.m. is when we meet. Make sure to sign up on the caucus listserv, and you can get more perspective on the agendas and the stuff that we're dealing with. Just to give you an idea of kind of what the state of the caucus is right now, I serve as chair. We have a fantastic vice chair, Megan Avs from Ohlone College, a fantastic secretary, Tajinder Bahia from Sierra College. And we have a lot of really important projects coming up. A couple examples of which are the Student Trustee Enfranchisement Full Rights Movement is we're beginning to lay the foundation to bring that back. For those unaware, there was a bill called SB 2910 that advocated to enhance the powers and privileges of student trustees across the state, which would shift the power balance of district governance toward the student trustees, towards the students' favor. And for obvious reasons, it's important that we advocate for that as students of the California Community Colleges to make sure our interests are represented at our local governing boards. And so, that decisions made locally are actually taking into consideration our perspective. So that's just an idea of some really big projects we're starting up. And then to answer the question about the Discord, Discord is a virtual communication platform. It's a pretty easy to use platform. It has voice, video, and text communication. If you click the link in the link tree within the Instagram bio, you'll be directed to the Discord server. You can download Discord for free on mobile app, iOS, Android, whatever. Also, it's available on any desktop browser. So it's one of the most accessible digital communication platforms. And we use the Discord to communicate with each other in an open and very public way, and connect with students like yourselves, and disseminate information, agendas. Also, we have a meme chat. So if you got good memes, there you go. And all that good stuff. So I hope you'll join the Discord. And, the last thing I want to repeat and leave off on again is this is a caucus. While the voting members are trustees, this is a caucus that aims to serve the interests of all students, 2.1 million in total. We are fighting to empower students systemically. So when we advocate for student trustees to have increased privileges and rights and responsibilities in district governance, that's not us advocating selfishly. That's us recognizing that in order to achieve the vision for success, which is the guiding principle of the California community colleges that the Board of Governors and the Chancellor's Office has adopted, in order to achieve that guiding principle, the student perspective must be empowered. And so everything we advocate in the Trustee Caucus relates to this, and I hope you will join us in that advocacy. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kola. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. All right, Anjali, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would start off by thanking Angelica for having us having Women's Caucus as part of this whole workshop, and it is a way where we can reach out to other students and as well and know more what caucus does. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Really grateful. Thank you. So again, hi everyone. My name is Anjali. I am the chair of Women's Caucus. The purpose of Women's Caucus is to organize an independent body of like-minded individuals who wish to make their voices heard and create positive change in our community. We will be focusing on advocacy for resources, rights, and/or services regarding matters related to women attending community colleges across the state of California. Reading off the statement is really this is what we do. We as a women's, we come together, we talk about women's issues, how women's, when they go to a community college, they have faced the barriers when they are on their periods, monthly periods. That could be one of the barriers. We talk about issues that how we lack opportunities, how we are not how we lack resources on campuses that could help us, that could be one of the barriers. We come together, we talk about those issues, we work on those issues, and those are something and just so you guys know, it is not women as in WOMEN. We specifically change our name from Women to Women X is because to be more inclusive of all genders and age, everybody, to be more inclusive of our population within the California state, and just to be and represent their voices. So as we right now we have officers amazing officers, amazing vice chair, which is Sophia Ruse. She's from Mount San Antonio College. Sorry about that. And we also we don't have the secretary, but we have the treasurer, which is Lauren Sanders, who is also the chair of Black Caucus. So those are some officers. Again, we meet Angelica has already said, we met on 4th Monday at 3:30 p.m. It's changed, so we meet at 4th Monday at 3:30 p.m. And also, I would highly encourage you guys to sign up for the listserv. And if you guys have any questions, just always reach out. Right now we are currently working on a lot of projects. As you can see, we have a resolution written on Feminist Center that there are Feminist Center, which not all colleges, 116 community colleges does not have Feminist Center. So we as a Women's Caucus, one of the members of a Women's Caucus wrote this resolution to have recommend, and it would be probably be in the GA, depending on how we have more modifications. So we have wrote the resolutions, on the feminist centers to have those on the campuses. Then we also have started the initiative, which we are gonna work alongside with student trustee caucuses, which I'm sure one of the members have reached out to you, Colum, but we are trying to reach out. So this is basically the hygiene, how women's lack resources, we don't have pads and all those things, on the campuses. And what if there is a woman and what if there is a period in the middle of this classes? we need to have those basic needs that women's need on the campuses. So we have started this initiative. Like right now, we are at the stage where we are reaching out to the colleges, and we are reaching out to the colleges asking, what resources do you have to provide for all the women's? You know, it's not just women's, but all the community, like the basic needs. And we are just reaching out. We have distributed the stacks. So this is an initiative that we are going to collaborate with the student trustees so that they can provide us more details, and this can be worked out pretty well. And then we are going to also recommend to have the resolutions around like having feminine hygiene products, resolutions. Again, we changed our name, as you know. This is what, and we are right now currently, as we are the newly formed caucus. We just reactivated last year, so we are trying to create a logo, so which also be inclusive, which also represent our inclusivity towards the population. So we are doing that, and right now also we are reaching out to the title, like all the colleges on the Title IX matters, like, because we had one of our member bring up those issues, that there are different policies on procedures on their campuses versus our campuses. So we are like right now we are trying to reach out to the campuses to know what are the policies and procedures in place regarding the Title IX matters. And also we are also outreaching the Free the Period movement at the moment. Basically, so we are trying to collaboratively work with the Free the Period movement people, like members, like organization, to create the advocacy toolkit. So which is also one of the amazing work, I would say, like, like where we are forming an advocacy toolkit for all the people in future as well. So these are some of the projects that we are currently working on and would be working on, and we will be trying to work more to provide that basic needs around all the women's in general, I would say, and advocate for all the students' basic needs, and particularly about women's basically. Yeah, that is something that we are working on. Always, I would again highly encourage you guys, if you guys want, like, be part of the women's, if you guys think that this is something that you guys want to be part of, please sign up, like, on the lister, and like join the caucuses. We need your voices, we need your representative, like, we need you guys to be the voices, and and advocate for all these good amazing things that all caucuses does. And it's, yeah, always just highly. We also have another way to reach out to the Women's Caucus and be updated would be Instagram. We now have our vice chair or vice president, Sophia Roos. She does an amazing job on updating like daily something about the women's generated issues, and like, on the social media. So yeah, that is another way you can be a part of the Women's Caucus. Email us, like email me at chairswomens@SSCCC caucus.org, as well as you can, yeah, just email rad3 or equitable chair practices. But yeah, please be part of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anjali. So now we'll have Black Caucus Chair Lauren Sanders speak on the Black Caucus.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hoping all is well. Happy Thursday. Okay, so I am Miss Lauren. I am actually residing in San Bernardino County, which is pretty much the largest county. But basically, the Black Caucus purpose is to provide organizational, professional leadership development and training to students of African descent that are enrolled in California Community College and that serve as a state representative of the California Community Colleges, Black student unions, clubs, and other organizations. The great thing about the caucus is that we are 20 years old, and it was actually founded by one of our past presidents, Miss Juanita Price, who currently is in Los Angeles County. I myself am the president. We have a great vice president, Miss Stephanie Estes. Our communications officer is Miss Marlene. One of our upcoming events will be our annual leadership conference that we will be holding at Merced College at the end of February 26th through the 28th of 2021. Lord willingly, we can all get together. So yeah, that'll be our motivation that we're actually looking forward to, because I know many of us have not been anywhere. So yeah, so that is what we are planning. Our next planning meeting will be this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. And then we will have another planning meeting on the 17th, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m. Our regular meeting for the month of October will be October the 11th, which is a Sunday at 5 p.m. The regular meetings are held once a month. If we need to meet more often, so be it. But right now we're sticking with once a month as far as our regular meetings. I've been involved with the caucus since 2017. So I've enjoyed being part of the caucus. I've gotten to do a lot of networking. I formed a lot of lifelong friendships with many of the individuals since I have started with the caucus back in 2017. When I started with the caucus, I was actually treasurer, and I actually recently became the president for the Black Caucus this past February. We are looking to do quite a bit. We will actually have the literature as far as the flyers and so forth for the conference within the next couple weeks. So you guys should start seeing the flyers and posters for the conference that we will be holding at Merced College. And we are also looking for vendors. The vendor prices are $50. But yes, for more contact information, please reach out to myself. And I'll even put my email address in the chat for those that are watching. But basically it's lsanders9411@panther.chaffee.edu. Or you can also reach us via the caucus email as well. And feel free to come out, reach out to us via the listserv, email, or simply any of the other SSCCC meetings that we do have. Come hang out, come enjoy, network with others. I've gotten to meet a lot of the other student trustees because I'm part of the trustee caucus. And the great thing is we have 116 California community colleges. So that's a whole lot of faces to meet and see, even though we're doing all of this virtual. So let's get some motivation and some encouragement and look forward to the year 2021, because 2020 was the year of preparation and 2021 is the year of action, financial increase. So we are putting it into existence as we speak, y'all. So any questions? Enjoy.
Thank you, Lauren, for closing us out there. Wow, I don't know where to go next, but we'll go to the next slide real quick. All right, so thank you again. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Colum. Thank you, Anjali, for all being here with me on this ride. Thank you all for everyone who attended as well. Right now, if you have any questions, we're open for any. We're open for any questions at the current moment. Just drop them in the chat. Also, if you just want to directly talk, feel free to. Okay. Not hearing any, not seeing any. Can we get to the next slide? All right, we've reached the end of the roller coaster. That is the introduction to SSCCC caucuses. Thank you all for attending this professional development event. And thank you all for, I've seen many familiar faces, so thank you all for attending our professional development as a whole week as a whole. I know many of the, it's kind of hard going from Zoom to Zoom right now when we're at home. But keep in contact for any future events of the SSCCC through our Twitter, through our Instagram, and last but not least, our Facebook page. Thank you. And again, before I leave, just to clarify, for anyone who wishes to make or create a new caucus, we will have a new process, I believe around October 10th. So that might be the best best date for time for y'all to wait to create a caucus. We're looking at a new form, like I mentioned, and just a whole new streamlined process for all of y'all. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Again, just reach out to your SBAs about caucuses and participate more. Thank you. Bye.
I'll wait after that.